What's up, bodyweight warriors, and welcome back to another flexibility follow along. Today we're going to be doing a hip mobility version number 3. If you want to see the other 2 variations, they'll be linked in the description down below. This one is similar, but I would say slightly more advanced than the previous variation, so just bear that one in mind. But pick one that you enjoy, and that is the key, because if you enjoy it, you're going to keep doing it, and that's what's going to lead to progress. So without further ado, let's jump into this routine. For this one, you're going to need a box or a chair. Chair will work really well. Edge of a sofa works well. You need an elevated surface that you're going to have to place your leg and perform some drills on. I'm using a box in this instance, but yeah, chair, sofa, also good. I would also recommend using a yoga block because we use them in pretty much all the follow-alongs, and they're a useful addition to modify exercises and make them easier or harder. Other than that, time and space, let's jump into it. We're going to kick things off with the usual, the hip swivel, just a quick 10 repetitions here. We're going to drop basically both legs to the side, keeping the chest facing forward, one into internal, one into external. Pause for a few seconds, swivel up, swivel to the other side. Again, trying to keep the chest facing forward, pause for a few seconds, and that is 1 rep. We're going to do 10 in total, so we're not going to take too long. Just going to keep swiveling back and forth. So that's about 3. Again, just moving the legs, moving a lot of the muscles through that internal and external position, which is kind of the focus of today's drills. So about halfway. If you want a bit of a challenge, you can try and do this without your hands in front of you, but it's not necessary. Just a bit of fun and likely falling over. It's about 7 now, just a few more back and forth. And then we're going to pause once we get to that left hand original starting size. So I'm going to do 1 more in each direction. And then we're going to twist, and I'm going to move into a 90-90 position, which is what we've done in a lot of the other routines, but this is just a very, very brief warm-up. So front leg 90, rear leg coming out at 90, leg bent 90. We're just going to do 5 reps. We're just going to hinge as far forward as we can so we feel a bit of a stretch. And I'm going to try and then move backwards, but as I move backwards, I'm going to use this knee to push into the floor. So I'm going to push myself out of it using my own strength. Nothing super intense, just feeling out the position, trying to keep the spine neutral as we hinge over. And remember, using the knee to press back out of that position. Just 5 reps here. 4. Trying to keep the sternum going over the front knee. And then once you've done your 5, return to the center, swivel, swivel, same position on the other side, same thing again, hand on the foot, and we're just going to hinge forward, as far as it feels a bit of a stretch, press out with the knee, back to the starting position again, just 5 reps to warm up. Beautiful. So this first drill, you're going to want the box, chair, sofa, whatever it is. You're basically just going to want to sit on something for this next drill. So I'm going to drag this into the center. And we're going to start with a nice seated glute piriformis stretch. So we're going to start left-hand side, fold the leg over. Shin is supported on the knee. Keep everything square, so hips square if you can do. And chest up, you're going to try and roll the hips. I'm going to try and sit forward onto my hamstrings as opposed to slouching back. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to press down with the hands. I'm putting myself into a stretch on this leg, moderate level of stretch. I'm going to perform 2 reps of PNF. I'm going to try and lift this knee up. So I'm going to actively do this effort into the hand, but it's not going to go anywhere because my hand is going to be resisting. We're going to do 2 reps, 5 seconds each. So 5 seconds, you're going to lift up. 5, 4, ramp up the effort of the contraction. 2, 1, exhale, and you're going to try and push that knee a little deeper into the stretch. It should allow you to get a bit more range of motion. We're going to do 1 more here. So we're going to lift 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale, push a bit deeper. We'll hold this position for 5 seconds, then we're going to perform 1 final effort, but it's going to be the opposite. So I'm going to think about trying to use my glute to pull my knee down. So I'm going to swap my hand position over, And I'm going to use my glute to try and keep the knee where it is, or think about pulling it deeper. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. That is it. Shake it off. Swap sides. Exactly the same thing. Shin on knee. It's nice and upright with the chest. Push the knee down to a moderate stretch. 2 reps of PNF. So we're going to lift that knee up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push down a little bit further. Exhale. Relax a bit deeper. 1 more of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Push down. Relax a little bit deeper. And then we're going to now do the final rep. So I'm going to try and use my glute to pull my knee down into my hand. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. We're going to keep whatever we're sat on because we're going to use that for the next drill, which is an active pigeon position. So I'm just going to move this around to the side. And then here we're going to need to basically get into a pigeon. I'm going to start on the left-hand side because that's what we started on, which is going to look like this position. You can use a yoga block or a cushion underneath the knee of the front leg, and that is going to reduce the angle here, so it's going to make it a little bit easier for you to sit in, but just make sure that this one is nicely padded and comfortable so you can happily get into the position. And then we're going to just basically try to hold a semi-active position. So starting on the left-hand side, I'm getting into my active pigeon hold. I'm supporting myself with the hand still. All I'm going to try and do is wiggle this back foot out. So if I bring the foot nice and close, this isn't super intense because of the angle of the hip. As I wiggle that foot out, it's going to increase the load on the front leg and the intensity of the stretch. We're basically getting closer to a pigeon position. We're going to hold this one for 30 to 45 seconds. We've probably already done 10 seconds with the rambling, so just keep holding and trying to actively move that foot out. Keep the chest nice and facing forward, and then just think about sinking the hip as well if you can do. Lots to think about there, but main thing, wiggle that foot back as far as feels intense enough and use your hands to support you so you can hold for that extended period of time. Just another 5 seconds or so here. Should feel a good stretch in the glute of this front leg, maybe even the hip flexor of the back leg. That was a lot of rambling, and the set is done. So we're just going to swap sides, keep the support where it is. If you need that elevation, then use the elevation. Otherwise, we're just going to sink that foot down. Try to keep a roughly 90-degree angle with this front foot, so you can see this foot isn't coming all the way back to my hip. I'm going to try and keep it open so I can force the external rotation at the hip. Again, 30 to 45 second hold. I'll be doing 45 seconds, but if you feel like you need to exit the stretch or it's too much, then either give yourself some more support with the hands or finish it at 30 seconds. Keep holding, another 20 seconds here. Keep trying to wiggle that foot backwards if you can do. Three, 2, and 1. Beautiful. We're going to repeat that combination just one more time. So, give you about 30 seconds just to shake it off and rest. And then we're going to repeat that one, as I said. Again, just note how you did on the first one. Exactly the same thing. So you've used the exercises now. You should be a little bit more familiar, and you can get more out of it the second time round. So another 10 seconds. And then we're going to start on this left-hand side. Again, that hip position here, and also the last drill. That's why the last drill is harder, because you're rotating the hip as you move the leg backwards. Right, left leg goes across, supported as you can do. Press down, moderate amount of stretch. And we're going to try and lift that leg up and into. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Try to move that knee down further. One more. Lift up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Move that knee down further. Okay. Place the hand the other side. You're going to try and pull the knee actively down into that hand. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're going to swap sides. Right leg up and over. Push down into a moderate amount of stretch. You can push down more into the thigh if it feels a bit more comfortable as well. Right, lift up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax a little bit deeper. Again, we're going to do one more rep. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Move that a little bit deeper. Now I'm going to get that hand. The other side of the knee, you're going to use the glute and you're going to try and pull the knee down into the hand. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that is that one done. I'm going to replace this over. And we can go straight into that supported or that active pigeon position. Again, if you needed that support under the knee, or if it was a bit too intense last time, make sure you make those adjustments so that you can manage to do it. Get yourself into the position, nice and upright with the chest. Start to wiggle that back leg back. Chest nice and upright, and then try to sink the hips if you can do. Try to use the quad of that back leg to actively extend the rear leg, so you're pulling that knee also away from the ground. Should be an intense stretch on the glute of this front leg, but a good stretch. Well, certainly that's the intention. Just another 10 seconds here. Keep trying to sink the hips down if you can do. And we can relax. Left leg back. Right leg forward now. Same thing, we're going to try and just wiggle that foot back. And then straighten the leg. Make sure you're using that quad. And then try to sink the hips down. Remember, this is about breathing as well. It's an active-ish position, so you should be able to sit in it. Shouldn't be squirming around too much, shouldn't be shaking too much. But it should be hard. Keep holding. Another 10 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. I move this over to the side because we are going to need it later on. But for the moment, we're just going to come into a supine position. So that means lying on the back. And we're going to basically move the knees out to the side. So the feet are outside the knees. Sorry, feet out to the side. And I'm just going to let gravity work. And we're going to drop those knees inwards. And we can start doing kind of like the hip swivels, just rocking back and forth, letting the knee drop with gravity, because we're going to work a little bit on our internal rotation of the knee. So I'm not going to give any reps here. Just move back and forth as feels comfortable. I'm just going to hold for another 20 seconds, and then we're going to get into the drill. Okay, for the drill, very simply, we're going to stay in the same position. We're going to get both fists, place them between our knees, lift our legs up to a 90-degree angle. Knees at a 90-degree angle, and then from here, we're just going to try and pull our feet apart as wide as we can, and we're also going to squeeze our hands, or our knees into our hands. Should be kind of a crampy, not very nice position. Just give that a go a second. I'm actually getting a bit of cramp myself. But we're going to hold that one for 30 seconds. And what I want you to do is look at your feet and try to think about getting your feet wider over that 30-second period. So assume the position, get ready, 90 degrees, and then pull those feet outwards. Look at your feet and really try to pull them out wider if you can do. Pull the knees in as well. We'll be activating the adductors. It's going to be using those internal rotators of the hip. Keep going. We're at 15 seconds now. It's not particularly easy, but that's why we're doing it. Another 10 seconds. Keep pulling the feet out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake it off. That shouldn't be particularly easy, but that's the first of 2 sets done. We can then get this box and or chair, whatever it is that you were sat on to begin with, and we're going to do some seated good mornings. So go probably double shoulder width with the feet, as wide as feels comfortable. Make sure you feel like you're sat on your hamstrings, and then from here, we're just going to hinge forward. So I'm thinking about pulling my belly button down towards the ground, and as I get into that bottom position, I can just reach forward with the hands, pause for a few seconds, and come back up to that starting position. So stomach comes forward between the legs, reach the hands forward, try to reach as far as you can, but keep pulling the hips backwards. Come back up. We're going to form 6 to 8 of these. Reach as far forward with the hands as you can do. Back to that starting position. Belly button between the legs. Reach with the hands. Remember, hold that bottom position for 3 or 4 seconds. As you come back up, feel that the legs pushing down into the ground to pull you back out of this position. So as we now approach the final couple of reps, I want you to hold that last position for 10 seconds in the bottom. So, last rep here. Get the stomach down, reach the hands forward as far as you can, press the heels down into the ground, and hold. Already done a couple seconds, that's 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, keep reaching forward, 2, 1. That's it. We can now come forward into a bit of an opposite position, maybe an upward dog. Just can move around a little bit from side to side while we rest for 20 to 30 seconds. And then we're going to do it all over again, one more time. Unfortunately, there is no way around the first drill. It just kind of sucks, but it will give you some good results. You can break it down into maybe 2 or 3 reps. So you could do 15 seconds, 2 reps, or 10 seconds, 3 reps, etc. Or you just do the whole 30 seconds in one go, like we're going to do. So get ready, 5 seconds, we're going to do one last round, one of those 2 again. That is basically the routine. You're almost through it. Hands between the legs, knees up at 90, legs back to 90. Pull those feet out as wide as you can. Watch the feet. Make sure they're going wider over the set. Embrace the cramp, embrace the suck. Keep going, 10. No, that's a lie. Now it's about 10 seconds. Keep pulling those feet out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give it a little shake off if you want before we jump back into the first one. And we go back. So that's seated good morning. Right, so we've done double shoulder width last time. Bent legs. What I want you to do this time is try to extend those legs just that little bit more. So whatever feels comfortable to you, but make sure you're still getting that belly button nice and low and being able to reach forward. So again, 6 to 8 of these. Hinge far forward and pull that belly button forward. Reach forward with the hands and then press out of the feet to bring you back up to that starting position. That's 2. Remember, pause for a few seconds. On each rep. You can do try and keep a neutral spine. A little bit of rounding isn't going to be the end of the world. 6 to 8. And remember that pause on that last rep. Use those feet to press back out of this one. Okay, so last one here for me. I'm going to reach forward. I'm going to hold for 10 seconds. Keep trying to reach forward with the hands. Pulling that stomach down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Oh, right, I'm going to move this away. We're going to finish up this routine with a little relaxed stretch in the opposite direction. For this, I'm going to use a bolster. You can use cushions. You can even use this sofa or chair or whatever it was that you were using beforehand to lean back against on. It depends on how flexible you are. Obviously, the higher this is going to be, the easier it's going to be. We're going to do a hero pose. So basically going to sit in a kneeling position, some support under the hips if you want that. And then you're just going to try and let yourself lean back. So you can use your hands to support you if you want to. Or we just lie back onto the object. So we now get a stretch over the opposite to what we've been working, so the hip flexors. But again, this should be kind of chilled. We're going to sit here for 60 seconds. So make sure you can do. Elevate the shoulders as you need to, elevate the hips or support the hips as you need to. We should just be able to sink into this position. It should be, you know, like a 5 out of 10 on the stretch or a 4 out of 10. It shouldn't be super intense. I'm just going to sit here and breathe for, well, another 30 seconds or so. Nice deep diaphragmatic breathing on this particular one does help. So that is the minute for me, but you can continue to sit in that position if it is comfortable to you. I appreciate you tuning in for this routine. I hope you enjoyed it. A little bit more of an intense routine than the other ones, as I kind of mentioned in the beginning. But if you did enjoy it, then please make sure you hit that thumbs up button, show your support, and also while you're down there, you can go and hit that subscribe button, join the Bodyweight Warrior Tribe so you don't miss out on any more future videos. If you have any requests for any future follow-alongs or future videos, please leave it in the comment section down below. Other than that, have a great week. I'll catch you next one. Peace.